Today I'm going to show you how I built this table. Let's get started. I've laid out all the top boards, the skirt, the 2x2 braces inside. That's the way the table will go together. These skirt boards will be inside of these longer ones, and determined that they'll be 2 inches. This board will be 2 inches in from the end, and on the side it'll be 1.5 inches. Same on that side, and then 2 inches in on the other end. So I'm going to mark all those so I know where those go. And I'm going to start putting in the fastening the 2x2s to the top boards. I'm going to start with this middle brace, and I've marked on here where it goes in from the side, and then where it goes in the middle, to make sure all my boards are lined up flush on the ends. And I've put pencil marks where I want to put the screws, so I'm going to countersink them first, because there, you can see, hopefully you can see that the screw head is angled like that, and then to get it down flush in the wood needs to be removed for those angles. If you don't do that, then it'll stick up 1/16, 1/8 of an inch above this board. Don't want to do that. I want to have it flush down. So I'm going to countersink all these. And these are 1 3/4 screws. This 2x2 is 1.5 inches. And the cedar is just 1/2 inch. So these will go down and then into the cedar about 1/4 or 3/8 inch. And I'm running low on those screws, so I'm not going to be able to put all of these in. I'm going to have to pick some up and then finish this off. So first off, countersink those, and then I'm going to actually drill these holes too, and then drive those in. When I marked these screw positions, I went in probably 3/4 inch from the edge of this board. I don't want to be really close to this edge because it has more of a tendency to split. And the more into the middle of the wood you are, the stronger that is. So that's what I did. So I marked pencil where this goes, and I've set the drill to only go in that far. I don't want to go, these are cedar boards, they tend to be on the soft side, so I'm not even going to drill down. I'll just let the screw go in and grip really well with the threads of the screw there. So, but I do not want to make that drill bit longer than this screw, because then I'll drill right through 2x2, the cedar board, and into the top of my ping pong table, and I don't want to do that. And I don't want to drill through the top of these boards, which that'll just wreck the look. So things lined up on the drill. But I'm going to go and drill all those, and then I'm going to put some glue on here first before I run the screws in. Using some wood glue, interior, exterior. I've got my pencil marks. This stuff tends to be thicker than just interior glue. And this seems even thicker than it normally is, but this is a bit smaller here. The cover on, so don't dump it, and I'm going to take a popsicle stick. Spread out this glue. Make sure, check both ends of the boards, make sure everything's flush and aligned. Make sure I'm right on my mark on the ends. Looks good. And this is beeswax, and it makes the screws slippery a little bit. They're easy to drive in, so a little bit of that on there. I want that screw nice and flush, just like that. So that looks good. So now go and put the rest of the screws in. Got all those screws in. Now I'm going to move down to this end, which I have marked. Got these countersunk, and I'm going to drill these, and I'm going to run screws in. And I'll do the same thing to the other end, and then the bracing on the tabletop will be done. Then I'll be put the skirt on. After cutting this with the circular saw, this edge is really rough, and this will be visible. The leg will be like this. This will be the outside of the table. This will be kind of inside, but you're going to see this. So I want to smooth that out. I'm going to put the galvanized metal in the vise because there's a pattern in here. If I don't put these in, that pattern from that jaw will probably transfer to this wood. This being cedar, it's relatively soft. So I'm going to clamp this in the vise. And then I'm going to use jack plane. And this is cut, the taper is cut this way. So the grain of the wood is running sort of parallel this way. I want to come in from the plane this way because of the grain of the wood. If I come in this way, the blade on the plane is probably going to catch the grain and might gouge out. So I want to go basically downhill with the taper. I'm going to finish that up, and got it finished up, and it's super smooth, really nice. I remember back in junior high school I had a art class and we did wood carving, and the teacher said using steel to wood is the smoothest surface you can get. He said, if I catch you using sandpaper on your wood carving, I'm going to fail you from the class. So I don't think anybody used sandpaper, but he was right. I mean, it gets really, really smooth. It turns out really nice. A lot better than the roughness it was after using the circular saw. I'm going to attach the legs to the longest skirt boards. I made a pencil mark here where the skirt on the end is going to come into. Put some glue on the back side of one of the legs. Come on. That does not want to come out of here. There we go. I'm going to run in an 1.25" screw. I check that sure that it won't go all the way through the skirt board. It's about short by about 1/8 of an inch. So that, I want to tip this up. I'm going to take a square, the table, that's off a bit. So get that lined up. And run another screw over here. These are both cedar boards, so I don't need to drill them. But I am staying in from the edges a ways, just so I don't split them. I'm going to double check that for square, pull she's off. Just, not really even enough to talk about. We'll call it good. So I'm going to run 2 more screws in here and here. I'll let this dry. And I'm going to put on the rest of the legs to the skirt boards, the long ones. I put 3 of these small head square drive screws in through the skirt here and into the 2x2 inside here, here, and here on both ends. Now attach the long skirt boards and the legs. I'm going to use a longer trim screw and run it right through here and into the 2x2. And then here I may put these smaller. These are 1 5/8" long. I have to get the clamp, get everything really nice tight, and drill this, and then run that screw in there. Got a bar clamp on here, so this joint's nice and tight. I'm going to drill maybe down about 1/2 inch, 3/4, about 1/2 inch from the top, from here. I'm going to go in the whole way because I want maximum gription there inside that joint. I'll run a screw in. There we go. And now I'm going to run a 3-inch trim screw here. I want to be down and hit that 2x2 that's inside here. So I'm up probably 1 inch from the bottom. And this is going to be potentially difficult running into 2x2 is pine. So I'm going to put some beeswax on there. Shucks. Well, that's going to have to come back out. It's sticking out 1/8 of an inch. I might have stripped out the head of that screw, or I might have to change the bit here. This one's getting kind of rounded. It doesn't have to skip very many times until it starts rounding, so I'm going to back that out. Well, let's try it now. There we go. And take the clamp off. That stayed nice and tight. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other 3 corners, and the table's done. Works really nice to clamp these corners all together. These bar clamps, one isn't long enough to go the whole width, so I hooked one on that side and then clamped them. Use 2 clamps essentially to extend the width. Kind of a bonus tip there. And I'm going to drill these holes, and then I believe I'm done. I knew this board, this one here, was twisted when I put the table together. Yeah, it's off. Oh my gosh, like close to 3 inches. And I thought that that twist would come out when I assembled the table. It did not. So I could replace this board, but these joints are glued. I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to try and get the twist out of this board. And what I'm going to do is take water, spray this down, and you need 3 things to move wood: moisture, heat, and pressure. So, and wood, just kind of in its normal dry state, is somewhere around 10-15%, which isn't a whole lot. But hopefully that wettiness, I can get that moisture up. It's be really hard to soak in a tank because it's over 3 feet long. And so now for heat, I'm going to use electric hair dryer. And I've got this set on hot, and I'm going to set it on high. Went over that with the hair dryer for 10 minutes. Applied some more water, get that nice and wet, and then I put this weight on it so it's now in the position where I want it to be. And you know, thinking about green wood, which is wet, versus dry wood, green wood is a lot easier to bend, like you think of a stick, versus a stick that's been dry. Usually that you try and bend them, they break, but a green one will bend quite a bit. So moisture is a lot of the key to flexibility. So I'm going to let this sit for a few hours and back and check it, and hopefully it works. It's been 4 hours. Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Oh, that finger cross never worked anyways, but that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to replace this board right here that's twisted. So there's some screws, this piece, and this is glued. So I'm going to take a chisel and hammer, take those apart. I've taken the screws out here. Take a 1-inch chisel. Put that right. I don't care if I damage this. I do not want to damage this board. This is the leg. I'm going to reuse that. I'm not going to go crazy. Just easy does it. Fun to go crazy though, but this situation, got to reframe. There it goes. There we go. So, yeah, this is the leg, but that'll be hidden, fortunately. So I'd have to remake that. I would not be happy. I'm not happy doing this, but I'd really be not happy. So this one, this is the problem child. Twisted's bad. So gotta replace that board, and then I'll glue the legs back on. I got that skirt board replaced. It's down here. But on the show, I put this brace in between the legs. Being this is just 1/2-inch material, legs are a little wobbly. I could have doubled up these legs, put actually 2 legs together, glued and screwed them together, but I didn't want to use that much material. I like the looks of this better, so I just put this cross brace in, and this was 10 inches up from the floor to the bottom, and then I just ran 2 screws in here. And this is the replacement of that skirt board. Oh, it worked out good. And there's the finished table. Yeah, it was a fun project. Takes a few hours. Time you cut boards, drill holes, put screws in, glue things, but very satisfying to build. Be sure and check out my other videos. Please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment below. Have a great day.